Let's dive into one of the most powerful and, frankly, one of the most unsettling short stories ever written. Flannery O'Connor's A Good Man is Hard to Find. This story is designed to get under your skin, to really disturb you. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how it works.
So everything we're about to talk about really comes down to this one single uncomfortable question. It's a question that attacks a belief most of us hold. You know, that being a good person makes you wise or clear-sighted. But what if O'Connor is saying the exact opposite? What if being good is actually a kind of blindness?
And look, we don't even have to guess at her intention. She told us flat out. She said, "I wrote it to show how difficult it is to reach a soul that believes itself already good." So right away, you know this isn't just a story about a family road trip that goes horribly wrong. No, this is a targeted strike on the kind of spiritual arrogance that comes from being absolutely certain you're one of the good ones.
Okay, so where do we find this dangerous goodness? Well, it's personified in our main character, the grandmother. Her whole version of morality is the engine of this story, and it's also the trap.
You see, for the grandmother, the word good doesn't really mean what you or I might think. It's not about ethics or justice or kindness. Not really. It's about what's recognizable, what's comfortable. If you have good manners, if you come from a good family, if you fit into her nostalgic picture of the past, then you're a good man. It's a morality that's all surface with absolutely no substance underneath. So you've got these two totally different ideas clashing here. On one side, you have the grandmother's aesthetic goodness. It's all about feeling safe, secure, and comfortable. But the story is trying to drag her, and us, kicking and screaming towards something else entirely. An ethical goodness. And that kind of goodness, well, it's not comfortable at all. It requires you to be vulnerable, to actually face reality instead of hiding from it.
And this insight from O'Connor, it's just a gut punch. She says the grandmother isn't immoral. She's worse. She's comfortable. And that comfort has been like a shield her entire life, protecting her from ever having to see herself or the world for what they really are. Her comfort is the real villain of this story. So how does O'Connor set the trap? How does she prepare us for this story's brutal turn? Well, she does something kind of sneaky, something you wouldn't expect. She starts with jokes. Before the horror, there's comedy. And believe me, it is a weapon.
I mean, think about it. The beginning of the story feels like a dysfunctional family sitcom, right? You've got the annoying kids, the fussy grandmother, the cat causing chaos. It's all so familiar. It makes us laugh. And that's the key. That laughter disarms us. It lowers our defenses, and it makes us feel safe inside this shallow little world she's created.
And this quote just lays the strategy bare. It's so chilling because you know it's true. The comedy isn't there to give us a break from the darkness. The comedy is the Trojan horse that the darkness rides in on.
So let's just call it what it is. The humor is a trap. It's not just for the characters. It's for us, the readers. It seduces us. It sucks us into this worldview, a worldview that O'Connor is about to take a stick of dynamite to.
And that brings us to the man holding the match, the Misfit. Now, he's not your typical bad guy. He's something way more disturbing. Because in a story that's literally drowning in denial and self-deception, he might just be the only honest person there.
And this is where the story gets really, really uncomfortable. I mean, is this guy evil? Yes, absolutely. He's a monster. But is he also the only one who isn't lying to himself? He never pretends to be something he's not. Can anyone else in the story say that?
Just look at them side by side. The contrast is just stark. The grandmother's entire system, her morality, her idea of truth, it's all secondhand. It's inherited, it's what she was told, it's what feels good. The misfit? No way. He has questioned everything. His truth has to be proven to him personally. And his belief? It's not a social accessory. It's a ruin. He's what's left after you burn all the comfortable illusions to the ground.
This quote nails it. Absolutely nails who he is. He is the walking, talking embodiment of a moral vacuum. And that's what's so terrifying. It's not that he enjoys killing. It's that for him, the reasons not to kill have completely disappeared. He's living in a world the grandmother can't even imagine exists.
So you have these two forces on a collision course, and you know it is not going to end well. This leads to the famous, brutal climax. But the real question isn't just what happens, it's why it has to be so terrible. Why, for O'Connor, does Grace have to show up wearing a mask of terror?
Because here's the thing. You couldn't just gently persuade the grandmother to see the truth.
Her armor, that armor of politeness and nostalgia and self-satisfaction, it was just too thick. A gentle tap wasn't going to do anything. Her entire reality, her whole world had to be completely shattered for a single ray of light to get in.
And we get to watch this shattering happen step by step. When faced with real, cold violence, all her little social tools become useless. First, her manners. Gone. Then, her appeals to the good old days. They don't work. All her cliches and platitudes about being a good man, they fall apart. The misfit just peels away every layer of her identity until there's nothing left.
And then, in that moment of absolute nothingness, when she has no tricks left, something happens. She reaches out and she touches him. And it's not a tactic, it's not a plea. It is a pure, uncalculated moment of recognition. For one brief second, she doesn't see the misfit, the criminal, the monster. She sees one of her own children. She sees him as kin.
This quote is just the devastating math of the story, isn't it? An entire lifetime of being wrong, of living in a comfortable illusion, had to be violently demolished just so she could be right for one single second.
And that, of course, brings us to the big question, the one everybody argues about. After all that horror, in that one moment of connection, was she saved? Did she find redemption right before the end?
Well, O'Connor's answer is brilliant because it turns the question right back on us. She basically says, your problem isn't with the idea of grace. Your problem is that she got it. We're uncomfortable because we feel like this shallow, selfish, annoying woman didn't do anything to deserve it. We want grace to be a reward. And O'Connor's whole point is, that's not how grace works.
And this is probably the toughest takeaway of all. This isn't a story with a happy ending. That moment of grace, it doesn't stop the bullets. It doesn't save her life. It doesn't change the misfit. All it does is provide one single, shattering moment of truth in a lifetime of lies. So the question the story leaves us with is, what is a moment like that truly worth?